The Congress steering committee meeting has begun in Raipur, and the big news that we're getting at this moment in time is that the Gandhis have given this steering committee meeting a miss and will only reach Raipur by 4 p.m. today. Now, it's going to be a 3-day session, and in this plenary session, the roadmap for the upcoming assembly elections in 2023 and the general elections in 2024 will be discussed. A big development will also take place when a resolution is passed during the plenary, making the Gandhis lifetime members of the party. However, the worrying factor for Congress is whether to hold the Congress Working Committee polls or not. It is important to note that the polls have not been held in the last 20 years to ensure that power remains completely with the Gandhis. As per sources, many are worried that in case polls are held, it could cut down the Gandhis' clout. So that steering committee is there in place of that CWC, and that key meeting has been missed by the top brass. Going across to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh. Pallavi, why do you view the top brass, the Gandhis, have missed that steering committee meeting and are only going to be coming to Raipur by this evening?
So what the party is saying is that there were prior engagements of the Gandhi family, particularly Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, and that's the reason why she's skipping the meeting. But if you look at the list of the steering committee members, of course, the president of the party is the president of the steering committee, which has been set up in place of the previous CWC, because that CWC ended with the end of Sonia Gandhi's term. But why the steering committee meeting is very important is because this is essentially going to also frame the new constitution of the Congress party. The Gandhis giving it a miss is one could possibly, of course, the Congress party is downplaying it by saying that one should not see too much into it. But perhaps that's also an indication that the Gandhis indeed want to have a hands-off approach and would prefer that the decision is taken for the rest of the party. But this is something which also does not go in sync with the fact that the party is still largely Gandhi-centric. And the absence of the Gandhis in the steering committee members, and all the three are the steering committee members, is of course something which is going to go down as much of a controversy.
Well, Pallavi, many can say that the Gandhis can't have it both ways. While Rahul Gandhi wants to be the face of that flagship yatra, they also want to save face by giving uncomfortable meetings such as the steering committee one, where the younger Congress workers want the polls, the older brass want to protect that respect of the Gandhis.
You're absolutely right. But when I am going through Raipur and even at the plenary session, you will find that a maximum number of posters are that of Rahul Gandhi and of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So it's very clear that the Bharat Jodo Yatra will Rahul Gandhi occupy center stage as far as the plenary session is concerned, even though he's just a member of the parliament and does not hold any such post in the Congress. I don't think if you are talking about a Congress minus the influence of the Gandhis, that's ever going to be the case. They'll have all the powers, but not necessarily the responsibilities. And that is what invites criticism, and that is something which is also going to be discussed today later in the day about a tweaking of the constitution, and more important, whether elections should be held in the CWC meeting. And if an election is held, then it's going to be seen as more democratic. But many feel it could undermine the clout of the Gandhis, and therefore let's not even go in for that.
But also the fact that they will be declared lifetime members of the Congress, I think the public already assumes that they are lifetime members, whether that official term is given to them or not.
Well, I mean, frankly speaking, the decision on whether they're going to be the lifelong members is also going to be taken sometime in the later of the day. It all depends about what position is going to be envisaged for them in the new Congress, which is going to come up post the steering committee meeting. But yes, there is an argument which is given by the Congress by virtue of being the former presidents of the party. Both Sonia and Rahul Gandhi do deserve to become the lifelong members. But the issue then arises about Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, because that rule does not apply to her. So a lot of changes are expected in that context. The Gandhi's holdings being supreme within the party, despite the fact that they do not hold any power, is, I think, going to be the key decision which is likely to come out of the plenary session.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for bringing us all that important perspective. Cutting across to some news coming in from